Hey there, Wondering Watchers. I'm Sony Golden for The Vibe is Golden. Welcome to this special, titillating edition of Tabloid Tarot, which unveils celebrity secrets in love, dating, and supercoupling. In today's titillating Tabloid Tarot, we're taking a peek at the latest romance for Hollywood's most eligible bachelor. We are tossing Leonardo DiCaprio's rumored romance with model Vittoria Cerettì into the spotlight to be tabloid tarot. So let's see what sensational headline we have for this sexy couple. The Gardener. Chemistry. Surrender. Trip. And schedule, management, plan, and organize. So this Gardener and this schedule card, they're very similar in the sense of kind of putting in like effort, having not only a plan, but moving towards a plan of action so that you can really recognize the beauty of life that surrounds you, that kind of like giving into that feminine energy that like the world can offer. And here with this kind of chemistry and surrender card, it's almost as if the attraction between Leo and Vittoria is so great that Leo has kind of decided to put in effort to make something out of it, at least to have fun for now. This trip card is kind of making me think about how they've been spotted in Ibiza, Milan, Paris. And so to me, it's as if there was at least an agreement or discussion that they would kind of take a certain trip together to kind of see where this leads and kind of allow things to unfold between them. So let's explore the juicy details of this steamy story here. I'm going to go ahead and put out some cards for Leo on the left and for Vittoria on the right, and their connection right down the middle. And then I'll do some clarifications. Okay, so current status, we have here the lovers. What pulls them apart? Seven of Swords. What brings them together? Justice. Okay, so for Leo, how he feels? Ace of Cups. Leo's hopes? Four of Pentacles. Leo's fears? The Star. Let's see about Vittoria's feelings. Eight of Wands. What she hopes for this connection? We have Five of Swords. And her fears, 10 of Pentacles. Let's see where Leo sees it going next. Page of Wands. Let's see where Vittoria sees it going next. The Fool. Okay, and let's just get a peek of the influencing energy card at the bottom of the deck, this Judgment card. So I feel like their connection is driven a lot by perhaps either recognizing that they're going to be judged or having like really reflected and kind of surrendered to their desires and like recognizing like that this trip is something for them to enjoy, and like it's not like they're married yet. It's not like it's the end of the world, and just kind of have fun with it. So the current status with this Lovers card, it's the background of the lovers. You've got this beautiful garden. It's a sense of there is chemistry between them. They're drawn together and at least like committed to discover where this is going, at least for, this European trip. So here we have the World. So it is a sense of like not just success and a journey, but like again, that concept of like travel. Like this is like almost like they're falling in love as they're traveling, or kind of feeling that they're falling in love as they're traveling. What pulls them apart, the Seven of Swords, could be like the fact that they kind of have to keep their connection secret, or trying to, or the fact that it seems like they're kind of sneaking around. Definitely things need to be hidden, and that makes it more difficult. Like, if, you know, kind of Leo and Vittoria not walking together, they have to kind of be sitting, you know, apart from each other, those types of things. So let's clarify that. We have the Page of Cups. So they do have strong feelings for each other, and it could be to some degree like they recognize they're in this period where there's a lot of chemistry. There's that potential just to like make out in public, to kind of tongue down in the parking lot, kind of like Harry Styles and Emily Ratajkowski. And it's kind of like that they're intentionally trying to keep things on the down low, but there is strong feelings that they have for each other. And what brings them together with this Justice, it's a sense of like, they talk about this. They talk about how they need to keep appearances. Here, this person's like a counselor almost, and kind of discussing each person's view of things, and like kind of mediating. So I feel like they discuss how this has to be, and that like right now, they're just trying to maintain balance, like have this strong connection, and then when they're out in public, kind of keep their attraction hidden. And almost that brings more attention to the both of them, more mystery and pizzazz. We have the Empress here. So also what brings them together is this strong chemistry, this sensuality, sexuality aspect. They're really kind of almost being in this garden together. They kind of recognize that this could potentially be something that is like more serious in the future. And here with Leo's feelings and the Ace of Cups, it seems like he is definitely feeling this chemistry. He's definitely wanting to surrender his heart to a certain degree. We have here the Six of Cups. So this is kind of like, you know, feeling like almost like a childhood crush. That's what I get from these cards here. Like kind of discovering the world together. It's like they are going on this trip and them kind of discovering how they feel. It's almost as if they, it's their own little world they get to play in. So in terms of his hopes in the Four of Pentacles here, I get more that it's a hope of kind of being able to kind of figure out how he, like where he stands on this issue. Kind of Four of Pentacles is more about closing yourself off. I think he hopes that he has kind of control over that, or he hopes even can kind of sense it coming on if it does. Or maybe he does hope that like that closing off does occur, because he's probably feeling very vulnerable here. We have here the Seven of Cups. So, you know, this is about choices, illusions. So it could be for Leo, he is trying to get a sense of stability when it comes to the fact that he has all these choices, all these options, all these like riches. It's almost like he wants something more grounding for himself with this relationship. And in terms of his fears, we have here the Star. So I feel like he fears that this is something like bigger, like than him, than what he's recognized before, that like he could start hoping that this, like it's almost like he fears that this could mean something. and that he'll start hoping for this to be something more long-term. So let's see about the star. We have here the Strength card. This is a card of like, you know, Leo the lion. It's made me think that courage and self-acceptance and like recognizing your own vulnerabilities. So it is kind of making me think like his fear is that this is going to be something that makes him feel like incomplete without her. And like he fears that this connection, this like fiery connection that they have, like might just disappear if he doesn't like kind of hold on to it. So let's see for Vittoria, her feelings. We had this 8 of Wands, and here you can see this person is leading this other person by the hand as they kind of go on an adventure. So I feel like she is all about advancing this connection, seeing where it goes. Really excited to go on this like journey with Leo. So let's get a card to clarify. Well, let's get this one. We have here the 8 of Cups. So like her feelings are like she might as well go for it because she never knows when this is going to end, when it's going to like, you know, maybe Leo leave the scene, her feelings to leave the scene. It's like they really want to take advantage of this right now, or she wants to take advantage of this right now when the opportunity is right here. In terms of her hopes, we have here the 5 of Swords. To me, it's almost like she hopes she knows when to walk away when this is like, when this isn't going to be necessarily like good for her. And the reason why with the fears and this 10 of Pentacles with this family, it's almost like she fears like relying too much on this community, relying on this being like her day to day and not wanting to like maybe fool herself into thinking, well, here, where she sees it going next, we have the Fool. So it's almost like she doesn't want to fool herself into believing that she could be this like, you know, the one that changes Leo's mind or heart about marriage or long-term connections, since she is 25 years old. So let's see about the 5 of Swords. We have here the Hierophant. So it could be like, you know, that again, that kind of the joke of the rule that Leo you know, ends relationships when the women are 25 years old. 5s are about instability and conflict. So it's almost as she kind of wants to make sure that she knows when to walk away from a lose-lose situation, when like, you know, almost when the writing's on the wall and everyone can see it. She doesn't want to be the last one to kind of see it. And so in terms of the fears being the 10 of Pentacles, okay. We have here the High Priestess. So a sense of something that's like hidden. And so with this 10 of Pentacles being like what she fears, it's almost like she fears like this kind of potential outcome is only going to be like hidden from her. Like she knows, almost like she should know better than to expect this to be the outcome. But, you know, maybe there's a part of her that fears actually this being serious and going somewhere, you know, where there is like a sense of stability and connection. So let's take a look at where Leo sees it going next. We have this Page of Wands. So still kind of that kind of chemistry, kind of like really kind of, I feel like he sees it going where it is now and like still continuing to, you know, to develop and be fun. and kind of be almost like with this Six of Cups, like having that more like magical, their own little world, that kind of feel to it. So let's see what we have here. The Page of Wands. We have the Magician, that magical feel, that like concept of like fantasy. So I think that Leo's like, hey, I've got the money to make this happen. I've got the connection to make this happen. Let's kind of live in this this magical garden a little bit more. And for Vittoria and the Fool, I feel like you could see this person's making like a love ritual here in this museum in front of, I believe that's supposed to be Venus. So she really wants to kind of have this be something that she really jumps into. She's almost kind of holding herself back, trying to kind of talk herself out of what this could potentially be. But she sees it going in, you know, a direction where perhaps they could both like fall in love here. So let's see what we have for this Fool. We have here the Emperor. So here the Emperor is kind of like more hardened, like, you know, has certain boundaries, traditional. So it's almost as if she's hoping, like she sees this, maybe taking Leo out of his rigid rules and what he's used to, and like opening him up to this more like this fun, kind of like drawn by this attraction and almost like a crush that they have for each other. So thanks for watching this special titillating edition of Tabloid Tarot. See you next time. Take care.